course, the file extension for these is .dir. Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly. Daily Wednesdays, the first one of 2024. That's right, we survived 2023. Arbitrary time number, however you want to measure it. Anyway, we're here. We're back. We're doing stuff. Maybe it's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Maybe an exciting year for Windows 11. Who knows? Maybe Plan 9 will return from outer space and take over the operating ecosystem.
That would cool. That would be cool. Actually, Ven, you would have lots of cool audio stuff to play with if that came back to life.
Maybe Linux is going to get so mainstream, we're going to have to start gaming on BSD.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. You did all the holiday stuff, though. Did you get some fun presents, meet some family?
I sure did. I got this cute little holiday penguin for my collection from my brother and his fiancée, Maria. And it's going to go right next to me in my penguin collection. But I thought, this is so cute. I don't have one like this. It's got little earmuffs and it's got little gloves. Isn't it cute?
And you got a little starship, too, didn't you?
Oh, I sure did. So my Steve husband got me a Hot Wheels NCC 1701 ship, but it's the J.J. Abrams ship, but it's cool nonetheless.
Did it come with like clip-on lens flare? Or?
Oh, no, but I guess if I keep it in the package and I tilt it just right in the sun.
Up to the light, you're like, all right, there we go. Now I see it. Now I get it. Oh, wow. Yeah, we've been doing a bunch of stuff. I've been playing around, moving a lot of stuff on the back end because one of the things I'm going to be doing in 2024 is kind of like, I don't want to say I'm starting a new project because it's not really a new project, but it's starting a new project is the easiest way to look at it because I've been looking at the landscape with content creation. You know, I do a lot of stuff like interfacing Linux, but when it comes down to audio, video, content creation, benchmarking, and things like that, they all just kind of get dumped into Linux Gamecast. And when I'm searching for additional information on these things, where do you end up? You end up on like Reddit or, hey, come to my disk. All this knowledge base gets memory hold. And I've been thinking about that past couple of years. Let's set up a bulletin board system. I'm like, okay, I'll bring back the Linux Gamecast bulletin board system. I'm like, that's another thing to do. And I'm like, let's not do that.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Let's still do it. So one of the things I'm going to be doing over 2024 is setting up the Interfacing Linux site, which is going to be its own knowledge base for, think of it as like a gamer's nexus or a level 1 text on a budget, but only focused for Linux.
Cool.
Something you might have played around with back in the day.
Yeah.
Gentoo. A little bit of news this week. Gentoo's going binary, man. Who saw this coming? Why is this a big deal? Well, Gentoo's always been famous for you got to build it yourself. It was Arch before Arch. And they start out with this, you probably know Gentoo Linux is your favorite open source based, distribution. But again, you had to get your hands dirty. I still know a few people. I know Katana Steel comes to mind. He's like, I still run Gentoo and I get it. And it's great for optimization. And I was still fascinated that so many people still tango with Gentoo in this modern day, because I do get some strange looks from people. If you bring up, hey man, you're going to have to download that from the Git repo and build it yourself. And I'm like, ew, no, I don't want to do that. But it still warms my heart that that community is still there. And no longer making that a requirement to get Gentoo up and running. That's pretty neat because they're going to be pushing out these binaries for the core system and the weekly updates. So that's going to let a lot of people see how cool Portage is, which is their package management system. And if you haven't played with that, you really should. How many architectures are we going to get? AMD 64, right? 2?
Yeah.
What else are we going to get?
AMD 64 and x86.
No, but Jill, what if it's not optimized for my CPU?
Well, then you got to build it yourself, just like the article says.
That's my favorite part of this entire post is this, but hey, this is not optimized for my CPU, to which they write, tough luck. You can still compile the packages.
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to be cryptographically signed. And that's things like this. I definitely want to do a stream of what it is like to get a binary version of Gentoo up and running.
Yeah, definitely. That would be cool. I did, when the binary capability for portage came into being, and this was years ago, I remember installing a binary. It was like XMMS or something like that. And and being very, this is cool. This is nice. But yeah, Ben, like you, I'd played around with it years ago, because it was one of the first distros of lots of online information and
Gentoo was
avid community.
We were talking about that during Trackmania yesterday. That used to be the resource. You think about the Arch Wiki. It used to be the Gentoo Wiki.
Yeah.
When you search for something, that's where the knowledge base was, and that it got obliterated and before it came back. And that's what led to everything becoming, you were doing searches for stuff, then it would end up because if you were using Linux in the mid-aughts, you got really good at translating from Ubuntu because Ubuntu had the knowledge base there because of the forums. And I got really good at translating Ubuntu speak back to Red Hat or Fedora speak at the time. But now when you do searches, what do you end up getting on the Arch Wiki?
Yeah. I know. What a shift.
It's interesting to see how stuff flows, and maybe this is going to make Gentoo's going to go mainstream in 2024. Well, I'll be running. But yeah, I definitely want to go back and play with it because my experience with it was getting something up and running and immediately, because then again, last time I played with Gentoo, I had a single core CPU that could, spinning drives that could compile stuff at the speed of smell. So it always resulted in, I ain't got time for this. But if you've always been that person that wanted to squeeze out every last little bit of performance and learn about compiler flags, you're like, wait, what's that? Ooh, binary. That's pretty cool. Definitely, we'll play around with it and we'll get something up running. Let's see what it takes to get Steam up and running on it.
Oh yeah. I know people do it, and it's possible.
That sounds like an adventure, Joe Bryant.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce this, though? Because if we're going old school, we might as well stick in the theme of things.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is Durdraw. Durdraw is actually a very cool ANSI, ASCII, and Unicode art editor for Unix-like OSs, like Linux and Mac OS. And this is so old school and cool. Durdraw also does animation like a traditional animation studio where you can edit the animation a frame at a time, which is awesome. It has custom themes, 256 and 16 color modes, terminal mouse input, DOS ANSI art viewing, woohoo, HTML output, and Merc color output. It even lets you control the speed of the ANSI animation by slowing it down or speeding up and not just relying on the computer speed for playback. So that is something that we didn't used to have in the old days of ASCII art creators. So that was definitely a thing. And it also supports Unicode characters, which means it runs in a modern terminal. And I actually remember Venn using both Acid Draw and the Draw in the late 80s and early 90s to create artwork and animations for my brother's Leap BBS. That was a thing, and I wish I had some of this functionality with being able to adjust the speeds and whatnot back then. But now we have it with Durdraw.
Hey, man! I mean, now you can have dope hacks.
Yeah, I love that. And what's cool is having the ability to create old school banners and animations on a modern terminal is honestly fantastic.
And you can have dope and ASCII with a unicorn in the background.
Yes, you can. A unicorn flying in the background. But I like that Linux one with Tux the Penguin. It's pretty cool.
There's Doge. There's BSD.
Yes. Cute. That's the BSD daemon.
and of course, the file extension for these is .dir.
Yes, I know. I was looking at that like, duh, dir. It's dir.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
How do we install this? Is this a pip install?
Pip install.
Oh,
yeah,
pip install pillow.
Right. Yeah.
Or you can just clone it.
You can clone it from GitHub.
But we have some bad news.
Aw. Well, this may be good news, though.
No, this is soul crushing news. This is going to make people terribly sad. And by that, all of our brothers and sisters out there running Windows 7 and Windows 8, you're going to need to upgrade to a newer operating system if you want to use the Steam client. This comes from PC World. Yes. You now are in possession of a retro gaming machine. And you know what? I just wanted to throw this in here as a reminder. Linux is a lot more user-friendly, and since you're going to be, if you're the type of person who will install an operating system instead of just throwing your current PC in the, bin.
Yes.
Maybe consider Linux.
Absolutely.
Gaming on Linux is good enough to where they've released a handheld console called a Steam Deck.
Yes. And that was going to be my suggestion. Why not buy a Steam Deck starting at just $349? You can have a more modern system that you can actually play some AAA games on.
Windows 7 and 8 let it die. Microsoft tries to pretend Windows 8 didn't happen. I kind of don't blame them around that. But, full support for Windows 7 ended back in 2020. 8.1 ended a year ago. And so you're going to get like a little nasty gram when you try to open Steam. Steam's like, why? Because there's a lot of Chromium inside of that and there's some patching issues and whatever. But, it's not a small number. They said, it's not quite 1% of total operating system use. And hey, Linux users, we're familiar with that not quite 1% feel.
Yeah.
The combined usage right now of Windows 7 and Windows 8, which is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, is 0.93%. So I did a bit of maths. Steam averages 120 million average users. So that's over 1 million people still using these operating systems. And I can't imagine a situation, because I guess kicking and screaming, you just got to go to Windows 10 if you're going to be that person. But I just want to put that little bug in your ear. That's why I wanted to throw it on this show. Up next,
absolutely,
e-ink.
Yeah.
We all want e-ink. E-ink's just expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is getting a lot cheaper because more devices are starting to use it. You can even get cell phones with e-ink screen on one side of them now, which is really cool. I've been wanting one of those. But this is, we're talking about Inkycal version 3. It's actually a Raspberry Pi Zero W powered e-paper dashboard for your desk. But it is small and light enough to take with you when you travel. And it boasts a sleek and modern looking 7.5-inch e-paper display, weighs less than 150 grams, and has a custom built display driver, which enhances its performance. And the dashboards you can have displayed are a calendar, an image and slideshow display, RSS feeds, weather updates, stock tickers, and to-do lists. Modules can be configured via an easy-to-use web app, so no programming needed. And the Inkycal v3 software is using the open source GNU General Public License number 3 and is driven by a growing community of supporters and contributors. And it actually can be purchased for $190 over at Tindy.com. But you have to wait till January 20th, as the sellers and the creators of the Inkycal ACE Innovation Lab in Germany are on vacation. And then after that, the Inkycal will be restocked. But what's really cool is you get a fully pre-assembled unit. It's not a kit, which includes a Raspberry Pi Zero W, a 7.5 e-paper display, a pre-flashed micro SD card, a 1mm cable, and a slim e-paper driver board. Also, the frame and driver board are available to purchase, so you can make your own. So I think it's the best of both worlds. It comes pre-assembled, but you can also start out with the screen and board to make your own if you have a Raspberry Pi Zero W sitting around.
Or even being able to get your hands on one for like $190. E-ink's one of those things
It's a very good price.
Yeah, the innovation with it and the price of it, because it's been patent encumbered for so long. But my attention has been on e-ink monitors.
Oh yeah, same here. Oh,
and they're not anywhere. They're close enough to where I'm starting to pay attention to them, especially some of the newer color ones. But they are ridiculously expensive.
I know. I know. Linus Tech Tips had reviewed one, and
which Linus?
Linus Sebastian, not our Linus Torvalds, Linus Sebastian, and he was. I remember he said that the biggest problem with it is it wasn't enhanced for the display.
The refresh rates are garbage.
Yeah, the refresh rate was garbage, but if it was enhanced, kind of like the Amazon does with their software with the Kindle, it would be much more performant.
You would need that because the Kindle having that tied into the operating system. Yeah, they're doing some work in the background definitely with that. So with like a general purpose operating system. Hopefully before we're cold little meat sticks in the ground, we'll be able to get a e-ink display. And I've always wanted one for like,
I know, me too,
notes and stuff like that. I have a dedicated monitor that just burns power to have Google Docs up and running on it. And I'm like, it would be so much better if and like the text rarely ever changes, right? And unless I'm typing something in. But this is neat. $190. Did they say anything where you can just buy the kit by itself? Or?
Yeah. The if you go to Tindy and you search for Inkycal, you'll find the frame and driver board.
Okay.
Are available separately.
Okay. They don't have like a build your own, like Build-A-Bear type thing. Like, here, you stick this together.
Yeah. No, they don't. On the GitHub page, though, they had the instructions on how to add the Raspberry Pi and such to build with the screen and board.
Okay. That's still a nice looking device.
It's beautiful. I love the modern look with the white outline and then the black frame. It doesn't look like a computer. It looks like a piece of artwork. It's cool. But I've been following this because this is version 3 and they've done a couple others before. And I was interested then, but it's nice to have. This one is just much more
it's more inky.
Yeah, more inky. It's better quality and everything. and they're also going to put out one with a much bigger screen. They're going to have one also with a 12-inch screen soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are we getting, like, I don't know, 50?
Yeah, 50. Exactly. And
I just want to look at what 50-inch high definition letter.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what letter it is.
I would like to have a big one to do show notes on. So that's maybe a module that can be created, one for like Google Drive or Google Docs, or something like that.
I'll get there one day. Like, I'll have more faith in that once we see things like decent or affordable e-ink, like Android tablets.
Yeah.
Like, let's do some baby steps. Like these calendars and they're neat and stuff like that. But we'll see. Still a good price. All this is going to be in our show notes, so you don't have to worry about doing it. And Pedro's determined to call it DuckDuckGoing. I'm like, let it go, man. Googling is the Kleenex of generic search terms. Yeah, just apply that whatever. Like, but we're gonna run before we do that. Hey, if you like the show, like everything we got going on over here, if you want to become a patron, you can get access to our super secret Discord. We got people hanging out there right now chatting with us. A couple people listening to the live audio feed. Normally we're on YouTube and everywhere else, but YouTube was just like, hey, man, we're not going to have you today.
Yeah.
But access to our Discord, live and uncut versions of the show, because we're going to drop into the after show. You get a podcast version of that and a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff and just early access to things I'm working on. I like to make that available